So all of that in mind, it'll still be a close contest. But whatever you've been building up the English team predominantly has been because of their batting.
Yeah.
If you take a look at their bowling, I think it's not really up to the mark. It's the Indian bowling attack which looks good, and they performed accordingly. We watched the game last night, and thank you so much for your company at 3 a.m. in the morning. A lot of you joined us live while Shane was sleeping.
I mean, I was working before that, so.
But if you're a sport fan, you should have been watching.
I did watch a bit, then I was like, okay, I'll have to come in at 12 tomorrow.
At least he's honest that he did go to sleep and he didn't watch the full game.
Yeah. Work is also important, no?
Yeah, but you didn't watch the full game.
Yeah, but if I watched the full game, then showing up at 12 o'clock today would have been
Why not? Why not?
Actually, to be fair, I turned up earlier than that. I'll explain why off air.
Acha. So what do you make of the match?
But it's pretty surprising result for one. Surprising in the sense, it's not like I didn't expect an India win, but you see a 50-run win in T20 eyes means that's a dominant victory. So very happy to see how Hardik did also. Always nice when you have an all-rounder performing at that level. So that was also a pleasing aspect for me, that Hardik did so well, bat and ball both. That was nice.
Okay. Hardik, of course, man possessed. Everything he touches turns to gold, been outstanding. Sharvil Patil, thank you. Hello to you as well. Alok Khandelwal has a suggestion. Hardik himself joins us. He says, have Virat been, what did he say? Just go up. Just reduce the font slightly a bit, one step bit, so that there are enough comments that we can hear. Ankush Singh is asking, Smith hits century, when will Virat's come? That's true actually. We'll have to wait and watch. He's definitely going to be playing the next 5 games, and that actually is not that small also. That actually is, that's fine. Okay, so I think he's going to be playing all the 5 games, and that is actually the subject that we'll be discussing on the Dugout today, and we'd love to hear your comments. We'll take those comments as well and tell us if you can find a solution. Why we got these 4 gentlemen? Actually, we needed Virat here and not Rohit.
Yeah,
but anyway, they seem to like the captain. So the 4 guys who are coming in are Virat Kohli.
Not Rohit. Virat Kohli, Rishabh Pant, Ravindra Jadeja, Jasprit Bumrah. Right, 4 guys who are going to be coming in. Let me make it better. And 4 absolute match winners potentially.
Yes, people might have.
See, Pant they might disagree with, but these 2 guys absolutely have been stellar in the shorter formats.
Yeah. Okay, so how do you accommodate these guys? That's what we'll try and look at, because see, India had an outstanding performance. Let's not forget that this is also a must-win game that they'll be. Must-win in the sense you'd want to win the series, right? So series could be decided. You don't want to take it lightly, so you don't want to make too many changes. What you want to be doing is winning. First things first, winning the T20I series. And for you to win, you'll have to go in with your best team.
Yes.
Right? So let me ask you and put you in the spot. Virat Kohli comes in. Does he make your best team, best 11?
Yeah, on current form, you could, doubt or say that, obviously, we all know it for a fact at this point, his form hasn't been great. But I don't think not playing him is a solution, at least for now. You'd want to give him as many chances as possible before the World Cup. Say, okay, try and maybe strike some form. So you never know what can happen in one good innings.
Yeah, so if you ask me, like it or not, some people would definitely want him. Some people have been saying, as I can see in the comment, don't have him. But if I was to take an educated guess, Virat Kohli is going to be coming in, right? So Virat Kohli comes into the 11 next game. A few reasons for that. One, of course, you're not going to discard him based on just his current form. The other, as we reported to you earlier on Sports Today, is that he is under test. He is being gauged by the decision makers. They are looking at Virat Kohli's form, and these 5 white ball games in England are going to be very, very crucial to his chances of making it to the subsequent tournaments, the likes of Asia Cup as well as the T20 World Cup. Right. So if you want to do that, then you have to see him play.
Right.
And how do you see him play? By having him in the 11.
Absolutely.
So Virat Kohli, I think, definitely comes in. Jasprit Bumrah comes in.
Has to.
Yeah, and it's pretty easy how he comes in. because Arshdeep is not part of the remaining 2 T20s.
Exactly.
He's not part of that squad. So pretty simple there. You'd fit him in. I don't think too many people will raise an eyebrow.
Yeah,
people did raise their eyebrows of not including Arshdeep in the 3 T20s. But now that he's not,
you know, then it's an easy swap.
yeah.
Like,
but should they keep back Arshdeep? I mean, he's going to be playing the one day.
one dayers, correct.
So
Yeah.
might as well keep. He's there.
He's
so
doing. It's not like he's
come
flying
Yeah.
back or anything.
Keep
so
him in the squad.
yeah, keep him around. I'm sure they'll keep him around.
Yeah,
not
include him in the squad. It's not a World Cup now where you have to declare your 15
people exactly.
ICC.
Yeah.
So okay, Big Boy, I can see your comment. He says it will be a shame if Huda will be dropped, and I'll get to it a little
Yeah.
later. So addressing this, Bumrah comes in. Okay, can you save me an image of just Virat? Just Virat, huh? We'll take that. So Bumrah comes in pretty easy. Jadeja comes in.
Has to. Yeah.
Who does he replace?
Akshar, was he playing? Yeah.
Akshar Patel. Yeah.
That's easy. Like for like, the only reason our speculation over Akshar was that he was quite literally the closest like for like you have for Jaddu.
Yes.
But now you have Jaddu back. I mean, you don't
Jaddu
need
comes
Akshar.
in
Has to,
and Akshar goes out.
yeah.
Now there will be something very interesting going forward, and I'll come to that. Rishabh Pant comes in.
That's
We're talking about 11 comes in.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I don't know. This one is a tricky one.
Yeah.
Because I would like to see DK there a little more, unless you can somehow accommodate them both.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, they were doing during the South Africa series. But again, who do you drop? So that's a tricky one. Rishabh, maybe not. Maybe not. At least not on current form.
Doesn't come into the
Yeah, not for me.
Okay. So Shane says Bumrah comes in, Jadeja comes in, Rishabh
Only-
Pant comes in. Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't come in.
Yeah, Pant doesn't.
Pant doesn't make it to the 11. Okay. So I think yes, Bumrah comes in. And I tell you why I would like to see a Jasprit Bumrah, simply because he's not part of that West Indies tour. He's not been selected for the ODIs. What we're getting to here is that Bumrah may not even play the T20Is in West Indies. He's asked for rest. If that's the case, then I would want to see Jasprit Bumrah in white ball format. Why? Because I know he's a match winner and he's number one bowler that you have, but because this is a crucial year for white ball cricket, especially T20 format, I want him to keep playing a bit of T20 format. I know he played the IPL, he's got a bit of a gap, so that he doesn't get resty, I would like for him to play. And so T20s in England, I definitely want to see Jasprit Bumrah play. Maybe even the ODIs. Okay, and since he's going to be resting from West Indies, play him. So Bumrah comes in for Arshdeep, no doubt. Ravindra Jadeja, I would like to see him play. I would like to see Ravindra Jadeja play. Okay, I would like to see, so fixed it. I would like to see Ravindra Jadeja play because don't forget, Ravi Jadeja was also resting in the South Africa series.
Correct.
And Ravi Jadeja was injured, missed bit of the IPL
as well. Yeah.
Ravi Jadeja was not part of the Ireland T20Is because he was part of the test team. So again, much like Jasprit Bumrah, I want him to see. I want to see Ravindra Jadeja playing the white ball. So he has to come into the 11.
Yes.
And for me, he comes in for Akshar Patel. Now, my question is, there were suggestions that you can fit in a Rishabh Pant into the team for Akshar Patel. In which case Jadeja doesn't come in, he comes in and use Deepak Huda as your second spinner.
Right.
Are you tilting towards that?
I mean, I don't know. See, personally, it's not the worst suggestion in the world because then that also solves another conundrum, which is unfairly dropping Deepak Huda. Man's done very well recently, and obviously, I think if you're looking at middle order, he would be that fall guy if Kohli comes in. If you're making as close to a like-to-like replacement as possible in terms of middle order bat for middle order bat, not the worst suggestion in the world if you want to.
The other suggestion is Rishabh doesn't come in, but Huda stays and Virat comes in. Then Akshar goes out.
Right, yes.
So simple point is, are you okay with just having one spinner in Yuzi Chahal and Huda as the second spinner, or do you want another spinner?
I think Ravi Jadeja in white ball cricket, I'd want him there. Because
Yes.
he provides a very different dimension to someone like Huda. Again, he's someone who can plug one end effortlessly. He'll get you 4 very economical overs. Might not always be a wicket-taking bowler, but good person to take. He'll not go for too many runs. Good player, and of course, good lower order bat, left-hander. Lots of things. I see more advantages to keeping him right now. Again, bear in mind, there's lots of T20 cricket still to be played. We're not ruling out or writing out Rishabh Pant. But right now, I think there's more this thing in just doing a like for like, bringing in Jadeja for Akshar.
Okay, so so that suggestion, according to us, is out of the window. I concur with him, because I would also want to see Ravindra Jadeja. Gave you the reasons why.
He's not played a lot of white ball cricket recently.
Yes. Also, the other reason I don't see the Indian team accommodating both Huda and Virat and then leaving out Akshar and using Deepak Huda as a second spinner, because if that is where the team was tilting, they would have given him some overs.
Exactly.
Deepak Huda did not bowl in the Ireland series, has not bowled in this one game as well. What that tells you is that they are not likely to be seeing him as a bowler.
Exactly.
So I think he'll only come into bowl in an emergency situation, but not having him as a bowler. If that's the case, and that's what I'm trying to gauge of what the Indian team is thinking, I doubt that Huda then is your second spinner, in which case second spinner has to be Jadeja. So Jadeja in, Bumrah in our 11 for the next game. They come in, okay, but I don't think there will be too much of a debate there. The debate comes for Rishabh Pant. You said you will not have Rishabh Pant.
Not right now.
I agree with Shane. It's not very often that we agree on everything, but I'm agreeing on that. I tell you what, at the moment, 2 reasons. One, I would like to see more of Dinesh Karthik. I know what we get with Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant was a regular even in T20 cricket. But Dinesh Karthik is the one under trial. You are gauging his performances and trying to find out whether he's part of your World Cup plan. So how do you judge him? By giving him more and more game matches. A lot of people have been saying IPL, don't count that. Look at more of international. So see him now. He's played against South Africa, did well. He's played against Ireland, played that first game. Give him an extended run. So Dinesh Karthik definitely plays. Now, can you fit in another wicket keeper in the team? And I think the only way he can come in, it will be if Ishan Kishan goes out. And for that, are you willing to firstly not give Ishan Kishan more chances? And if you don't, if given him enough long run and you want to see him, then that could be the case. You could do it. But for that, you'd also be wanting to play him as an opener. Unless you make Virat open, Rohit, and then he bats again in the middle order. That's something. But again, if this is what can be done, I don't see that happening. If you ask me, like Shane has said, Pant doesn't make it to the 11 to the next game. I have the same feeling, and for another reason, I think he's been playing non-stop cricket. If
for a while now,
rest, you could rest him. So Pant is rested. Also, don't confuse his test performances with T20.
Exactly. That's I think one of the reasons why he's got such an extended run. Also,
correct.
White ball form may have been up and down. Test form has always been good.
Correct. So I think he misses out. Jadeja comes in. Bumrah comes in.
Easy.
Pant misses out from the next 11 unless the Indian team thinks about opening with him, which, as you watched on Sports Today exclusively, Sunny Gavaskar said in their interview on Sports Today that he wouldn't mind opening with Rishabh Pant. It's a good idea. If the team is also thinking like that, then I'd like to see that experiment happen, and then Pant comes in. If not, then he doesn't make it to the 11. Any doubts about him coming into the 11?
No. Again, as we say, for 2 things. One, if you're wanting to make him play his way into form, he's not doing that by sitting on the bench. And B, as we're saying, he's reportedly on trial. He's under the scanner. Again, if he's under the scanner, you're not going to gauge his form in the nets. So he has to be playing.
Yes. And anyway, he's Virat Kohli.
Exactly.
Okay. He's a big match player. And again, I just want to take this opportunity and also just tell you one thing, because a lot of people, I saw your comments, and a lot of people sent me comments on Instagram and Twitter saying that, listen, how can you say that Virat Kohli cannot be part of the T20 World Cup? So I tell you what I was telling you 2 days ago on Sports Today was not my opinion. I'm giving you a piece of information. It's news. As a journalist, I'm giving you some information. It's not my thought. But what I'm telling you is, after having spoken to a few people, that the Indian team management is keeping a close eye on Virat Kohli's form. I'm just telling you what they are doing. It's not my opinion. I'm just telling you what they are doing. They're keeping a close eye on Virat Kohli's form, and they're going to be looking at these 5 white ball matches and then deciding the future course of action. This is what the Indian team management is thinking about. And when I talk about the management, it's a few people from the BCCI, the selection committee, the coach, everyone. They're thinking on those lines. That's all I'm telling you. If you remember, Shane will remember, in fact, if you had asked me for my opinion, for all this while I'd been saying, listen, no matter what his form is, he's going for the World Cup.
Correct.
He's going for the World Cup. If you have to take a call on him, it will be taken after the World Cup. But that was my opinion. Now I'm giving you a piece of information after having spoken to a few people, and that's why it's not that my opinion has changed or I am advocating that he be tested. I'm just telling you what the team management is thinking about. So if he's on trial, then you need to see him play. And because he's a big match player, by the way, even people in the BCCI who are looking at him and judging him or will be looking out at his performances would also want him to fire.
Exactly.
Who in their right mind wouldn't want a
Virat Kohli firing?
Top form Virat Kohli in the World Cup with his experience, with his big match temperament, pedigree. All of that put together, you want him in the final. So for all you know, he gets runs here and then all the debates are put to rest and he's part of the team. So for all that in mind, and because Virat Kohli, he just walks into my 11. Now, who goes out for you to fit him into the 11?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone beyond Huda as the straight swap. It's very harsh. Yeah. Because again, you'd say Huda's done nothing wrong. Yeah. He's played very, very well in the game time he's gotten. He hasn't really made mistakes. I mean, you're T20, 100 against Ireland. So he's been in form. But
first game, you asked him to open.
Did very well as an opener.
Well. Next game, gets
in his slot.
Next game, again, 200, almost 200 run strike rate.
Exactly.
You know, follows the template that the team needs. In fact, I love what the Indian team did. I would rather take those 30s that you were getting from Surya Kumar, Deepak Hudas, and 24 from Rohit, and 50 from that kind of batting I like, because all of them are over 150, 170, 200 strike rate. That's the way to play a T20 cricket.
Yes.
So if you get 3-4 of them getting you these 30s and 40s, that's better than two guys getting 80s 70, and 100s or whatever at a
120 strike, right?
Strike. Yeah. That's not the, so this would be the right way. So for you, Deepak Huda goes out.
Unfortunately.
In the words of MS Dhoni, nothing more to add. For me also, Deepak Huda goes out. Again, unfair. By the way, I wouldn't be unfair because a lot of people say that I've been advocating
for Huda a lot.
All the time. Because that time it was unfair on the management to have left him out, because I thought he was ahead of...
And to be fair, he got his due thereafter.
Yes. But now, because Virat is back, again, you're looking at Virat versus... He comes in... I'll tell Deepak Huda, listen, you're also part of my West Indies tour.
Yeah.
So I have enough opportunities to judge you. You have got your chance. You've done well. You're in the scheme of things.
Yeah.
You're going to play a lot more white ball cricket going forward.
It's just that for right now.
Yes,
yeah.
These seniors may be rested. So I'll just have a word with Deepak Huda saying, listen, you're spot on, but
you did very, very good.
Well. You have a lot more games coming your way. So sit back, relax, bring the water to the ground for the time being, and in the future you're going to play a lot many games, and there'll be enough matches for you to prove your form, and then you could all be part of that T20 World Cup. So for me, Deepak Huda then goes out and Virat Kohli comes in. So I think that is how the team is going to be. 3 changes is what we both are foreseeing. Virat Kohli for Deepak Huda, Ravindra Jadeja for Akshar Patel, and Jasprit Bumrah for Arshdeep Singh. Right, most likely. Let's take a few questions before we get into some very interesting stats we have, because we're going to be getting a lot of questions on Virat Kohli, and we've got some stats on that, and we'll discuss that. If you can, there was a super chat I think you missed on top. Let's go to that first. Let's go up. Arsalan had sent something. Okay, let's take this comment for now. 1 second. Just increase the font. Sorry, I can't read it. So Vivek Chauhan is saying, I'm a huge fan of Virat Kohli, but when Virat played for India since last year, India has lost around 80% matches. Yeah, that's it. And just go up a bit. Oh no, not there. Up from the page. Up from the page. Page. No. Page. Yeah. थोड़ा सा नीचे. No. Page.
We have the
comment. That's it. That's it. No, come down a bit. Page. Okay. No, page, not the comment.
Scroll down from the other side.
Yeah. Don't want to see the sign in and all that. Okay, that's it. Just leave it there. Okay. So Vivek Chauhan says, I'm a huge fan of Virat Kohli. And okay. But when Virat played for India since last year, India has lost around 80% matches. Versus when he has not played, India has won more than 80% matches. Does he disbalance the team? Vivek Chauhan is saying. But firstly, I can't corroborate those.
Yeah, first off, that stat is off the top of my head doesn't seem very right.
Yes.
Secondly,
we're not sure about that stat.
Yeah. Secondly, I mean, even if you look at the matches or the series where Kohli has rested, it's not been against the so-called big teams. So again, lot of.
So he's played against the big teams. So even if India has lost, those have been much.
Correct.
Crucial and tougher matches.
So not too sure about that.
Yeah, if you just look at the matches, they may have won, they may have played against weaker teams. So I don't think you can put the blame down on Virat Kohli
solely.
For that. Yeah, not true. Hardik says, do you think this World Cup will have the same batting order as last year? May not be. We'll have to wait and watch. We don't know, and I tell you, as we are reporting, we don't know now whether Virat would be part of that batting order. We don't know now whether Rishabh Pant will be part of that batting order. We don't know now whether who else? Maybe Deepak Hooda is part of that batting order. Maybe Dinesh Karthik is part of the batting. These are guys who weren't part of. So we don't know as yet. All of
Still
it is
too early.
Flexible. There are plenty of white ball cricket before that, and I think you will get a clearer picture later. But let me tell you that this thought which all of us had, that no matter what happens in these white ball game, pretty much the same team we know, which is the team that will go for the T20 World Cup, may not be true. The selectors are looking. Let's move on to what we've got for you today. Okay, so we got some stats out for you guys to have a look at, because plenty of talk, and I know a lot of you tagged me on Twitter, because when we were saying that, listen, Virat Kohli is going to be judged by the BCCI, a lot of you tagged me on Instagram, Twitter, saying that, listen, why you after Virat Kohli, look at the stats of other big guys. So what we did, we've got these stats. You've not seen these stats anywhere. I'll tell you why. Because every stat that you guys tagged me on was only T20I international. So I don't think that's a fair way to look at the form of a batsman. So what we've done is, we've taken a cutoff that is January 2021. So that's about a year and a half, at least a substantial amount of time to judge a player's form. Now, we've combined all T20Is.
Or T20s in fact.
Yes, all T20s, yeah. So which includes T20 internationals
and
as
IPL
well as
matches.
2 seasons of IPL. As we all agree, IPL is of the top level, highest standard, and that's the same format as T20 international. Because a lot of players have not played a lot of T20 international, like Virat rests for some games. KL has not played any T20Is in
because
2022.
of injuries and all.
Correct. So it wouldn't have been fair. So you need a big sample size. And how do you get a big sample size? Pretty simple. We've combined 2 IPLs and all the rest of T20I internationals that these guys have played. What that tells you the way they have been performing in T20s. So again, this is since January 2021, combination of T20 internationals and 2 seasons of IPL. So then what do you get because of that? You get 39, 45, 43 matches.
Which is a big enough sample size.
Correct. Now that's substantial. Now you can judge their performances, and this will give us an idea of how they have been playing in the T20 format. KL Rahul notches above the rest, by the way.
Yeah.
On all counts. 39 matches, 48 averages, a strike rate of 136. People who question his strike rate, let me just show it to you, is the best amongst the 3.
Yeah.
Okay, best amongst the 3. And again, even if you consider 136 as not being an ideal strike rate in T20, don't forget his average is 48. So had his average been 30 and still 136,
then you'd be
had some
questioning.
issues.
Yeah.
48 average if he's giving you in T20 and at that strike rate, I'll take it any day. I'll take this any day. So KL Rahul on form, if he's available, if he's fit, if he's available, I cannot imagine that he can be left out of India's T20 team as of now.
No, as of now, definitely not a chance.
Yes. Anybody else has any thoughts about it? I don't think you can argue with these numbers. Combination of IPL as well as T20 international in the last year and a half. KL Rahul notches above. Now this is an interesting comparison. Roughly the same amount of games on average.
Virat edges
Rohit. And on strike rate,
Rohit edges Virat. Yeah.
But if I was to give and take a few, I think they're both on even keel.
Yeah, absolutely.
You take, one has a better average, one has a better strike rate. Yeah. So if I was to take that into account, I think they're both in the same boat.
And both underwhelming actually in terms of stats.
Correct. So first thing that I noticed, both need to step up. Okay. But But, and here's a very important but, looking at these numbers, and I hope that both of them start firing, and if they do, then of course you can have all three in the team. Assuming they are not in great form, these both do not strike form ahead of the T20 World Cup, and their numbers are pretty much the same, they're coming back with the same dividends, then I think only one Indian team can only afford to play one between Rohit and Virat.
And then that means Virat is the one in bigger trouble because Rohit is the skipper.
Correct. Now, had Virat been skipper, had he not given away his T20 captaincy, then maybe there would have been more question marks on Rohit's
form. Yeah,
could be. At the end of the day, you want to see what's best for the Indian team. Now, in this form, and tell me, you guys, can you afford both of them with this form, this strike rate, this average in the same team? And the answer for me would be no. For you?
No, you can't. You can't. This is not possible.
Again, these are things that, as we are saying, are fluid. For all you know, they start getting you runs now going forward, both of them. And if that happens,
great, problem solved.
No-brainer. All three. KL is fit, in form, all three come into the team. Then I wouldn't even think twice about dropping a Deepak Hooda also, even though he'll be scoring runs, because if these guys are scoring runs, they have the experience, they are match winner, big occasion, we know what they can do. I'll go with these guys, no doubt. Exactly. But if both of them show similar form in the next 10, 12 white ball games, then you may have to just decide on one guy, and as my friend Shane put it here, on that regard, the captain then gets the nod, and then that is why what we were reporting on Sports Day, that is why probably Virat Kohli is under the scanner. That is what, see again, we just put same numbers. So I'm just imagining the team management, whether it's the selectors, the few important members, the BCCI, whether it's the coach, all of them want the best for Indian cricket. And if they're sitting and looking at these numbers, maybe just as he and me can gather, and I'm sure a lot of you can gather, maybe it may not be feasible to have these two in the same form. And so they said, okay, let's wait. Let's see if these guys start firing. If they do, then headache is solved. You don't have to think twice.
But if they don't,
then scanner is there. Then that's the scanner. I'm just reporting what we're getting to here. And these numbers give you an idea of who stands where. I agree, both Rohit and Virat are on similar footing at the moment. But the captaincy makes a huge difference. So you can afford to take one of them as the leader of the pack. You may have to leave the other one out. KL Rahul, head and shoulders above the rest of them. Can we take a few questions now? Okay. कहीं पे रोक दो please.
It'll keep going on.
Yeah. Okay, Austin Kuna says, Nikhil sir, India can't drop Virat without dropping Rohit, who averages. Austin, see, we just answered that question.
We just did.
I know a lot of you pointed this out.
And it's a legit point, but if one of them is captain, that automatically gives you. Remember, who was the captain of the last World Cup, T20 World Cup winning team?
Winning team?
Yeah, the T20 World Cup winning team, Aaron Finch.
No, I thought you were talking about the Indian.
No, I'm talking about the.
Yes, Aaron Finch. Yeah.
He was in pretty poor form. Yes. He was barely getting a game in even the IPL. But he played. Being captain, played, didn't really do much, but won a marsh.
Yep.
So if you're captain, you have that protective. It's like a shield. If your form, you could be having numbers like this, and your spot is not on the thread. Virat doesn't have that anymore. That's the problem.
Yes. Okay. Prateek Mohad is saying Virat may open with Rohit and Hooda should continue at 3 in second or third T20.
But then KL?
No, he's saying for this second and third T20.
Right.
No, that's a valid point. So we said that way you can continue with a Deepak Hooda, but then you put Ishan Kishan out. You can do that. That also is a possibility. But what we're discussing here is that now this will happen. If you were watching our show from the start, we had said that this next T20, Virat is coming in for sure, and I think he's going to be playing all 5 white ball games in England, no doubt about it. Whether you get him to open or bat in the middle order is something the Indian team can look at. So one of them goes out, whether it's Ishan Kishan, Deepak Hooda, whichever the team management decides. I don't think there's a big call to take there. But Virat is definitely playing. But what we are trying to put this picture and why you put it is why this entire talk of why are all the spotlight and focus on Virat Kohli is because of these numbers. Yeah. Don't move. Upar jaye. Okay, I was reading one. Debashish Mohanty saying, I think Virat will retire from T20 cricket after T20 World Cup. Could possibly, but it'll all depend on whether he goes to the T20 World Cup or not. And by the way, again, don't be too sure. If he finds form, he goes to the T20 World Cup, and India does well at the T20 World Cup, then why would he retire?
Then no more questions.
No, and why would he retire?
Exactly.
He wouldn't, and he's mentioned earlier he's going to continue playing IPL cricket, so it's not that he's going to let go of one format. I don't think that may be the case. It all depends on the next few months, which is why I say next few months very, very crucial for Indian cricket and Virat Kohli. Himanshu Mahajan is saying, can you put the numbers of Pant also? Himanshu, will do that earlier, but I think Pant is not part of this debate. By the way, his numbers in T20 aren't great.
Exactly.
Which is why if you saw our discussion
we just
earlier,
wrote him out entirely.
Yeah, we're saying we're looking at Dinesh Karthik right now.
Yeah.
I think the only way Pant can now come in for these games on two ways. One, either you experiment with him as an opener for now and then see how he goes, or the other is if Dinesh Karthik also is not guaranteed a place. If he doesn't have a great run, then you may go back to a Rishabh Pant.
Exactly.
By the way, as somebody pointed out, Dinesh Karthik's keeping also left a lot to be desired. So that is something that will be considered.
And again, that might also have something to do with the fact that he's also not kept a lot. I mean, remember, the South Africa series, he was fielding.
Yep.
Then after that, obviously for the Island series, but again, yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
His keeping, you're right, hasn't been great.
Yep, we'll wait and watch on that, yes.
Mr. Professor has an interesting point.
I'm just saying, Shubham Mishra saying, so it'll be unfair if India don't play Rishabh tomorrow. I don't think so.
No. We can't confuse format form.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yes.
That's why Pant has actually gotten as extended a run as he has. Test matches, he's been frighteningly consistent.
Saeed Abdul wants to know, does DK have chance to play the next two T20s? We think yes. We will be playing the next two T20s.
Absolutely.
Now what did you say, Mr.
Mr. Professor? He says that in T20s, having an average of 25 plus, so putting Rohit there is okay. Having a strike rate of 122, not so much, which is why he thinks Rohit is ahead of Virat, according to at least these stats, and then points out that even AB had an average of 26, but striking it at over 130. So
no, fair point. But all I'm saying is that, see, the debate would have been crystal clear had Rohit had a strike rate of 150. So then what would have been like, see, average roughly about the same, but 120 vis-a-vis 130, huge difference. So then I may have been tempted to
then would have been an easy call, actually.
Yeah, I would have said, just step back a bit so you can see the, then I would have easily picked because Rohit. This is a close one, like the 122, 133 and average is close. You could say marginally Rohit was higher because that there's a difference of 122, 133 strike rate, which is quite important in T20 cricket, whereas this average of just 5 runs isn't that crucial.
Isn't that big.
So he does make a point. I think marginally
Rohit.
I prefer that. If push comes to shove and you force me to choose one, I may, irrespective of the names, if you give me these figures and it's
you pick the guy with 130 strike rate.
I would have gone because there's not too much of a difference here. But again, it's marginal. So you could argue both ways. But I said the problem will be to have both in the same team, and if we were not looking at names and we were just going to be looking at, somebody just said these are the numbers,
who do you
decide,
pick?
Then I would have said to fit these two players, whoever they are, in the same 11 may weaken my team.
Exactly, so you pick just one
because he's now the captain. So that is what the whole debate is. Yep, go down please. Pixel is saying Virat doesn't deserve a place in the team. Give Huda a chance. He is full of confidence. Don't break his flow. A valid point, but I think that is not
going to break his flow.
Yeah, it will. But he'll get. See, I think that also won't be unfair. I think you need to see Virat. You need to give him chances. And Virat may not play all tournaments going forward, which Deepak Huda will. So just have patience.
Because again, if you're resting Virat anytime, you know that you have a Deepak Huda who's in good form.
Yep.
So easy call to rest.
Yeah. Fitmong wants to know, by any chance, do you think Virat might open tomorrow? You can't drop. That's a possible. So I said two-way. Virat definitely coming in. So either he comes in for Ishan Kishan, and then Deepak Huda also plays. That's one way. You could do that. There'll be nothing wrong with it. Or then Ishan gets another game because he's also trying to prove himself, and Huda goes out. So either ways, I don't.
There's no right or wrong answer here. Plus, but of course, if you're looking at it this way, for the T20 World Cup, do you see Virat as an opener? No, exactly.
I don't, because once KL is back.
Exactly.
But again, there's a big but, because you may be sweating over his fitness.
Yeah.
He gets fit in September, just 20 days
or before the World Cup. Then suddenly it's a bit.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
It's touch and go.
That's why I think they have that in mind. That's why Ishan is continuously being
playing correctly.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
And also, if you want to experiment with a Virat or with a Rishabh, you may want to do it now.
Rather than later.
Yeah. Let's take Kanishk Johari's questions.
So scroll slightly. Yeah.
Yeah. Take this into consideration.
God. Slightly higher. There we go.
With DK in good form, Pant can be taken as backup opener ahead of Ishan with Virat. Who does Sky? Yeah, Kanishka, we've said that.
But again, does Indian team management see him as an opener?
Yeah.
And if you're going to try that experiment, it has to be now.
Yes.
Later on is too late.
Yes. Himanshu Mahajan is saying, as Jadeja is certain in the T20 World Cup and will be playing in the West Indies series, I want to see both Pant and DK in the team. No, but then who's going to be the spinner? Pant and DK both in the team, not going to give you that spinning option.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, as we pointed out earlier in the program, that I want to see Jadeja playing. He didn't play the second half of the IPL. He wasn't part of the South Africa series, wasn't playing in Ireland. You also want him to be playing.
You want him some rhythm, right? Yeah. And I mean, it harks back to an old dugout we did where we said that you need to be seeing all these top guys. Yep. You need to start playing soon. How much rest?
Absolutely. Surbi Tyagi saying, why are you showing the stats of IPL included? Show last 30 inning stats. Virat has an average. Surbi, that's because it's the same format. How do you judge? And we explained that. How do you judge a form based on 10 matches or so? Last 30 innings. If you take a look
sample size.
Last 13 in the T20 international will take you back more than 2 years, and then the form doesn't.
Form, exactly.
Yeah. So we had to think of two things. One, you cannot go back in time immemorial. You have to keep it like year and a half and then look at form. It's what somebody was doing 2 years, 3 years ago is different to what. So we had to fit in a year or year and a half, because that's a good time to look at somebody's form. More and more matches. And I can't understand why you can't put IPL. We consider IPL as world class, top standard. It's the same format. You're playing against some of the best bowlers in the world. If you have a format where you can use that to judge the performance of a player and the kind of cricket they play in T20, whether it's their strike rate or average, then why wouldn't we want to use that? Why would you want to ignore it?
Exactly.
If you were to just, I know a lot of people, and that's the reason I picked it. So many people tagging me on social media, and their respective set of fans, right? Virat fans, Rohit fan, KL fan. What they do, cherry picking. They pick stats of whichever one XYZ is done good. In which format, I will just show that and not. Or even time frame, they're very clever. Good series you'll take into account. So you could start from any random place like June 2021 or whatever. To show that, that's why we've done like a year starting. January, like 1st January 2021, like a calendar year. We picked a year and a half so that there's no bias. And we picked all formats, 2 seasons of IPL and international. We thought that's the best unbiased way of showing stats in T20 and what a batsman is doing and his current form, and that's why we did that. Okay, can you go down? Will Umran Malik replace Arshdeep in the second T20? No, I think Bumrah.
Easy one.
Okay. Last 2 years, Vinayak Rajput is saying Rohit has a strike rate close to 140 T20Is, but his IPL numbers are worrying, by the way. That's why, again, so now just to balance it out, I'm so glad Vinayak has said
pointing that out, yes.
Why I tell you, because we had a Rohit fan point out, look at T20 international. We had a Virat fan point that out. Now we have a Rohit fan point out that Rohit's strike rate is very good in T20. But he agrees that look at IPL, and that's why we've taken IPL form of both players. And it's disappointing there, and that's why I think a better representation.
Mere backstory, because when we were looking for these numbers, you had to go through the IPL website to find Rohit's numbers. For the last 2 years, you're having to scroll pretty low to find where he is in the batting charts. Because otherwise, you expect Rohit Sharma to be up there, but he wasn't that high. His numbers weren't great in the IPL. Even when they won it in 2021.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why we've done a combined average. That's why we thought of a combined average. Everyone sending me stats, tagging me with someone picking international, someone picking IPL, someone picking some year, some series that no.
Confirmation bias.
No biases. All put together, here are the numbers. You like it, you don't like it,
Not a
you got to
problem,
face
but
it. You got to face it. This is what
the
it is.
numbers don't lie.
Yep. Hardik wants to know, do you think Ashwin will come back for West Indies T20? I'm hearing that there is talk of bringing Ashwin back in white ball cricket, but I don't see that as...
I thought that experiment came to an end after the T20I World Cup of last year.
Yeah. I'm not too kicked about it or not too excited about it.
Yeah, no, you have better spin options there. So
maybe. Though we are not mixing up formats. We are the same ones who are very critical of the Indian team of not having played Ashwin in the Edgbaston Test match.
Yeah, I stick by that.
We said it before the Test match started, not the end. But again, not confusing formats at all. Go down, please. Simon Ibrahim says, guys, do you think Virat will put the team first, understand the current scenario and keep away from T20?
Doubt it. No, he wants to play.
No, everyone wants to play.
Exactly.
I don't blame him. No, see, that's the thing with, he's such a great player that why would he ever think that he's not good enough to be playing here? All great players, and he's come out of, phases where he may not have done, though this has been a long phase, he's come out of phases and they truly believe that they are one good knock away from good form.
True.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That's good confidence.
Yeah, you have to have that self-belief playing as an international elite sports person.
And also, to be fair, can I tell you, just go back, history of subcontinent cricket is peppered with players not seeing the writing on the wall. So
that's true.
It doesn't happen here.
Yeah.
Doesn't. So will not happen.
Definitely not.
Yep. Goat says Virat has been player of the tournament in 2 T20 World Cups so far. True, but that you cannot keep that basis.
That's if you're going by solely historical.
Yeah.
Then you can say that Virat has been easily India's greatest batsman post Sachin. Why should you ever drop him then?
Yeah.
We're debating it because his form for the last 2 years has been underwhelming. So
exactly. Right. So. Prasad Bhagat says even if DK is bad with the gloves, there will be at least one between KL, Pant or Ishant in the 11. True. So you could give that keeping option there. But again there could be a situation where none of them are there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. I'm just giving an example. I mean, what if India go in again? Virat strikes form, and Virat and Rohit are opening, so there's no spot for KL if he's injured assuming, and so no spot for Ishan Kishan. And if you're going with just one, because you've accommodated Deepak Hooda and Surya Kumar Yadav, now only one wicket keeper, and then you go in with a DK. If he's been firing with the bat, then you'll have only one option. So there could be a scenario.
And remember, if you're looking at KL that way, he hasn't kept in a while. Even in the IPL, Quinton was keeping for Lucknow, so he's not kept in a while.
Yeah, could happen. I don't know. Rahul Java. Rahul, Rohit, Hooda, Sky, Pant, Pandya, DK and 4 bowlers. That's our best lineup. Rahul and Rohit.
Okay. Hooda, Sky. Okay.
Well, he's
dropped Virat.
He's dropped Virat Kohli from his team.
Because Pant,
Sky,
Pandya.
Pant, DK and 4 bowlers. 3 fast bowlers. No, I think he's gone with the spinner less also.
How is that possible? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
4 bowlers would be 3 fast bowlers, and you need 2 spinners. One is UZ, you need another spinner.
Yeah, he's removed one spinner.
I don't think.
Yeah, because he said no, he's not a fan of Jadeja.
Yeah,
that's why.
But I think this is not going to happen.
No.
And you cannot rely on also, by the way, in T20 just to go in with 5 bowlers and one of them being Hardik Pandya. He's bowling fantastically well,
but he's a bit injury prone.
Yes. And on a day doesn't have a great day, you'd need
need someone, and that's where a Jadeja is also useful, no?
Yes, because again, I know you'd point out Hooda as your 5th bowler, but the Indian team management has not been trying him much. So
yeah, exactly.
I think that may not happen, but it's a fair call. It's an interesting call that he makes. Down. रोक लेना कहीं. Abhinav Rajput says, don't you think those saying Pant should open insist on Ishan Kishan basically saying that country's top batsman in T20 should be replaced by country's top batsman in test formats in a T20 match.
Is Ishan Kishan your top batsman in T20s?
No,
exactly.
Plus I think, see, the only reason people are saying that is based looking at the potential. They think that Rishabh Pant can be a game changer at that position. May happen, may not happen. Sunny Gavaskar on Sports Today said that he gave an example of Adam Gilchrist, saying that look how he
played in white ball
so
cricket.
So you could look at that. But if they don't see it like that, then maybe if Pant doesn't get his runs, he may also be left out of the 11.
Possible,
and DK
quite likely, quite likely.
What is he saying? I can't read that comment. Oopsie.
I think he said, why not Manoj Tiwari?
No, I think that ship has sailed
unfortunately.
Long ago. Lovely guy. We interviewed him
recently.
Yes, just recently because of the interesting peg that a politician, active politician, smashing hundreds in Ranji Trophy.
Yeah.
Okay, Anjir Raja is saying, I have no problem if you drop Virat, go on, but why are you all floating these reports and putting extra mental pressure on him? This one from the BCCI. Anjir Raja, well, I tell you what, our job is to tell you what is happening in the corridors of Indian cricket, and we share that with you. So if you're going to be an ostrich, put your head in the sand and say, I don't want to hear any of these reports, and if I will not hear it, they will not exist, then so be it.
And then you're in the minority, because
you know the story of a porcupine. What does he do? So if he encounters a bigger animal than him and he's in danger, what he does, he rolls himself.
Right.
So he thinks if I can't see that,
then the other animal can't.
Then the animal can't see, and I won't. So of course he also does it naturally because of those
spikes.
Yeah, spikes will help him. But all I'm saying is, if you're going to just put your head in the sand and expect that the problem is gonna, it won't. If you don't want us to share the information with you, well then so be it.
Also, I think Virat puts enough pressure on himself. What you and I say is hardly going to be putting any extra pressure. As it is, they like blocking out the outside noise. So.
Yes, he doesn't listen to the outside noise.
Exactly.
So how is he going to feel anything?
There's no mental pressure on him. No more so than he's putting on himself.
Yep.
Because obviously, as an elite sports person, he'd not be happy with his
I'm just repeating what we said earlier is not our opinion. What we gave you is news, piece of information. Okay, Sahil Verma has picked Rohit, Pant / Virat as opener, Huda at 3, Sky, Pandya, DK, Jadeja, Bhuvi, Harshal, Bumrah, Chahal. So there is only scope for exactly what we had picked. I think that's Sahil will agree with you. I think it's going to be, that would be the team, and in fact I'll go so far as to say that it will be Virat there for sure, and Ishan goes out. Probably if you're going to fit in Pant, then maybe even Huda goes out. Who knows? But
that's a pretty interesting lineup, I would say.
Yeah. On that note, shall we wind up? Gone on for very long. Thanks so much for your company. Let us know what you made of the numbers and the thoughts that we had. We love to have engaged with you more, but paucity of time, so we have to wrap up. But even after the video is done, if you're watching us later, do drop in a comment. We do pick up some very interesting comments and try and bring it in our next show. And don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today and press the
bell icon so that you know every single time we're going live or posting a new video.
Tomorrow the game starts at 7 o'clock.
Yes, 7 o'clock.
So 6:15 we are live.
6:15 we are all
going live. We'll be live, building up to the game.
And I'll be there this time. So,
what do they say?
Vanakkam.
Vanakkam. Bye bye.